Shalom, shalom. First and foremost, as always, I'd like to start off giving all honor and glory, infinite praise and worship to our power, YAHAWAH, BAHASHAM, YAHAWASHI, BAHASHAM, RAWCHAA, HAQADASH. Double honors to our apostles, our elders, and bishops, great millstone, who rule well, teach you in sound doctrine, strong shalom, to the hopeful elect, and the rest of the large multitude of men, women, and children that the Lord will have mercy on in these perilous times, many dangerous times that we're currently living in. It's your brother HAQADASH, representing Gymnast branch here in Cleveland, Lord willing, to bring out an edifying lesson through the spirit and power of YAHAWASHI, YAHAWASHI. And then just another MOTB update. We that much closer, man. We that much closer. And as you can see on the screen, it says I typed in Mexico make biometric identification mandatory. It says yes, Mexico is making biometric identification mandatory for all citizens. This change. Wait, first of all, let's do this. Let's look up the term biometrics. All right, let's do this. Be forced to use this sometimes. What does and I'm gonna show you a clip. I'm gonna show you a quick video. What does biometric mean? Biometrics refers to the measurement and analysis of people's unique, and we go through this all the time, unique physical or behavioral characteristics. See that? Behavioral, that's one of the key things, because they're pushing the e-wrist situation, right, from different sects of people in America. They're pushing the fact that illegal immigrants and all these different terms have to deal with the behavioral characteristic of an individual. Okay, now they will be able to insert a system where they can track one's behavior, which is the problem to our problems in America as they're pushing, right? Because it is a problem, but it's only a problem because they created the problem, right? From the foods to the clothing, to the relationships, to the what's in the media, to what they push in terms of religion, doctrines, and all these different things that has to deal with the psyche, which has to go back to your mind. Okay, it has to go back to your mind. All right, he govern means control, means the mind. He dictates what enters your mind. Okay, and it has to, and by default, that has to do that trains up one's behavior. You know what I'm saying? That's why the Lord, one of the biggest things we had to do when we had to repent, when it came to repentance, was letting go the ways of Babylon, repenting, turning away from the mind that we had before. And the mind that we had before was thinking like a Babylonian, thinking like an American, from the food we eat to the way we deal, the way we talk, the way all our mannerisms had to deal with all our behavioral characteristics, right? So this is the focus. This is the focal point. Okay, this is the focal point.
Number one, are you ready? Are you ready? We will build a great wall along the southern border. And Mexico will pay for the wall. 100%. One, we will begin working on an impenetrable, physical, tall, powerful, beautiful southern border wall. Above and below ground sensors, towers, aerials. For president today, I really believe they want to solve this problem along with us, and I'm sure they will. Number two, we are going to end catch and release. We catch them? Oh, go ahead. We catch them? Go ahead. Under my administration, anyone who illegally crosses the border will be detained until they are removed out of our country and back to the country from which they came. All of a sudden, that was the end. We will take them great distances, but we will take 3. This is the one I think it's so great. It's hard to believe. People don't even talk about it. Zero tolerance for criminal aliens. Zero. I believe that only American citizens should vote in American elections. Which is why the time has come for voter ID, like everything else. Voter ID. You know, if you go out and you want to buy groceries, you need a picture on a card. You need ID. You go out and you want to buy anything, you need ID and you need your picture. In this country, the only time you don't need it, in many cases, is when you want to vote for a president, when you want to vote for a senator, when you want to vote for a governor or a congressman. It's crazy.
I thought, man, pets have been getting these.
We believe that only American citizens should.
So, you saw that Trump video. I was trying to find the one where he actually said we need a biometric ID. They probably took it down. All right, but this is what it deals with: fingerprint recognition, facial recognition, iris or retina scans, which is your eyes, voice recognition, hand geometry, gait, the way someone walks, behavioral patterns like typing rhythm. That's what social media does. It studies you. That's AI. Social media is AI. Biometrics are widely used in security systems. Right, there you go. Authentication. Right, there you go. Law enforcement. There you go. And that's what he's pushing. The criminal. The criminal task force. Right. It says biometric traits are unique to individuals, are hard to replicate. They're considered more secure than traditional passwords. There you go. So there you go. Yes, Mexico is making biometric identification mandatory for all citizens. This change is part of a new law that transforms the previously optional biometric-based CURP, Clave Única de Registro de Población. I know I butchered it, but into a mandatory document for official procedures. The new system will integrate biometric data like fingerprints and iris scans, the retina or the eye, into the CURP and will be used for accessing public and private services. See that? So, no man can sell or buy unless he have the mark. Okay. The law requires all Mexican citizens to obtain and use the biometric CURP for official identification purposes. All right. Says the biometric CURP will be linked to a unified identity platform and connected to other government databases, including those containing information on healthcare, taxes, and missing persons. You see, so this is what you think is going on here. This is 3 days ago, dog. You know what I'm saying? What you think is going on here, you know? See, this is a mandatory thing because the crime is too high. The effects of crime is too potent. So they got to bring in a new system. It's beyond the means of what? It's beyond just letting it slide now. And this is what they was waiting for. America is looking to be the leaders in digital assets, is what I typed into ChatGPT, and this is his AI. Yes, the United States is actively positioning itself to be a global leader in digital assets, including cryptocurrencies, blockchain technologies, tokenized assets, and central bank digital currencies. However, the path forward is complex, involving innovation, regulations, and global competition. And this is what they're doing. They're positioning themselves to do this. Now it says recent U.S. government actions, Executive Order 14067 of March of 22, ensuring responsible development of digital assets, direct the agencies to study and coordinate policies for consumer protection, financial stability, illicit finance, U.S. competitors. See, show you this. can read this on your own, just scrolling.
This, but try and follow what I'm going to tell you. There are two kinds of law on the earth. One is called civil law, which is the law of the land, and one is called maritime admiralty, which is called the law of water. And the maritime admiralty is banking law. And the law on the maritime admiralty says that you, because you came out of your mother's water, are a maritime admiralty product. This is why the ship is sitting in its berth and is tied to the dock, and the captain has to give a certificate of manifest to the port authority, because money is changing hands. This is why when you were born, you have to have a birth certificate. It's got to be signed by the dock, because that's where the ship is tied to, is the dock. So the dock signs your birth certificate. Why? Because you came down out of your mother's water. You came down her birth canal. You are a maritime admiralty product. And therefore, your birth certificate is signed by your mother. And where your mother signed on the birth certificate, get it, you will see it does not say parent or mother. It says informant. Your mother was informing the bank that she has just produced another product to be bought and sold. England, the British Crown, through international banking, owns your physical body. And that's the law. So the bottom line is that you are a maritime admiralty product. And therefore, the banks own your body.
Right, which is like it's called a river bank. You know what I'm saying? The banks have to deal with cash flow. I've done lessons on this in the past. Cash flow, the birth canal, and all these different terminologies that they use have to deal with you. You know what I'm saying? The individual. You're a product. You have a number on you. All right. And they got to keep track of their product like any businessman. And that's why Trump is the one that we believe is going to issue in this new system, as you're seeing it being done right before you. And he's just now starting. He ain't even been in office for a whole year yet. Okay? He's the one that's going to spearhead. He's the face to spearhead this new NWO. The 2030 agenda boldly states that there can be no sustainable development without peace and no peace without sustainability development.
Agenda 21 is kind of a code name for a master plan originated at the United Nations to change the political and economic system of the world to one of total collectivism. And in order to do that, people must not be allowed to have independence. They must be dependent on the state for everything. Otherwise, they won't be easily controlled by the state. That means they can't have private property, mostly. They cannot have land of their own. They have to live in, preferably, high-rise apartments that are provided to them by the state as a benefit, so to speak. Oh, good, we got a free apartment. But these people at the top want all humans to be dependent on the largesse of the state. That means that they don't want anybody living out in the boonies. Anybody that's got a couple of acres of land and his own water supply and can grow his own food and that kind of thing, or have some sheep or some chickens, these people are a threat to the collectivist society because they aren't going to go to the politicians and say, please feed me, please clothe me, please give me shelter. They tend to be independent. That's the secret behind Agenda 21. They want people out of the country. They want corporations out there growing all the food and that kind of thing, but they don't want anybody living out there because that way they cannot be controlled. In order to control mankind, we have to get them all into the big cities. We have to rack them up and stack them up, get them dependent on the state for their food, their shelter, their electrical power, their water, everything. That's the dirty secret behind Agenda 21.
In 2020, an exclusive organization for the world's most powerful people, called Stakeholders, enacted a 10-year transition to a global authoritarian political system called stakeholder capitalism.
It's the funeral of shareholder capitalism, and it's the birth of stakeholder capitalism.
You have shown us the way forward.
Right, and so that's a good video. And then
face. Those dots are then distorted based on the contours and the infrared projector, which they have a 3D identified or biometric.
For 25 years. He left when he recognized the dark side of surveillance technology, choosing instead the peace and beauty of... One man who knows the dangers only too well is Aman Jabi, who was at the forefront of digital development in Silicon Valley, California, for 25 years. He left when he recognized the dark side of surveillance technology, choosing instead the peace and beauty of Montana. He's an expert in facial recognition.
It's a technique that is used to uniquely identify the biometrics of any face. So in a device like your smartphone, and most modern smartphones in the last 5 or 7 years, they have a 3D camera module in the front of the phone, which you cannot see. Within that module is a near-infrared projector, which projects tens of thousands of dots on your face. Those dots are then distorted based on the contours and the features of your face. And there's a near-infrared camera then takes a picture of that distortion, captures it, and then reverse engineers the exact profile of your face. In the longer term, facial recognition will be used to unlock your digital identity, which is going to be a tool of control for the agendas that are coming down the pipeline.
Elements of that control are already with us.
Alexa, good morning.
Good morning.
You are never alone in your home, and this is why. All your devices at home and all smart appliances, they are all connected on a wireless network. Many of these devices will have cameras, many will have microphones, and so they are monitoring everything all the time. Your smart appliances are communicating with the smart meter and sending it real-time usage data. If there's a Ring camera also in your home, a mesh network is formed, and all your devices are being tracked within the home, its location, its usage, and all the data is going to Amazon servers. When you leave your home, all modern vehicles are connected to the internet, so your automobile is being tracked all the time. When you're going under a string of smart LED poles and smart LED lights on the highway and in the streets of your towns and cities, those form a wireless network and are tracking your vehicle. They're tracking all the devices on you, from smartphones to smartwatches when you're walking on the streets. So data is being collected 24/7 continuously on every human being whenever you are within these wireless networks. And it's obviously not good for health also because of all the electromagnetic radiation. In the long term, the plan is to pretty much lock up humanity in smart cities, which is kind of a superset of a 15-minute city. They've sold all the state and local governments and countries that smart cities are about sustainability and the good of the city. But in reality, the language from the UN and WEF and their white papers is all inverted. So air monitoring is really about limiting mobility and no car ownership. Right? Surveillance, control via LED grid is why the smart lighting is there. Water management is about water rationing. Noise pollution is about speed surveillance. Traffic monitoring is about limiting mobility. And then, of course, energy conservation is all about rationing heat, electricity, and gasoline. Another concept one should be familiar with is called geofencing. And that's, think of it as an invisible fence around you, where you cannot go beyond a certain point. And that will be related to your face recognition, digital identity, and access control. Your smart contracts, SoftBrick can turn off your digital currency beyond a certain point from your house. Our world has been turned into a digital panopticon.
Right. The digital prison.
That means you can be monitored, analyzed, managed, and monetized.
Surveillance capitalists are already making billions of dollars selling our information to big corporations, because this kind of detailed knowledge enables them to predict and influence our behavior.
So, I'm gonna play this last one.
I thought, man, pets have been getting these chips forever. What about humans?
Frustrated with carrying keys and cards? Biohacker Emil Grofstra ordered 2 right-sized RFID chips and had them implanted. First in March 2005, then another in June 2005, to unlock his home, car, and computer with just a wave of his hand.
RFID is radio frequency identification, and in a human context, identification typically means accessing something. Your home, car, computer, websites, that kind of thing. At first, I thought about getting a chip because I had an office that had a door that would lock behind me all the time, and I would rarely bring my keys with me, so I'm always getting locked out, and I wanted the door to just know that it was me. I thought, man, pets have been getting these chips forever. What about humans? I didn't have any concerns about it. At the time, I was working with many medical doctors and professionals, and so I had a lot of clients who I could consult with. This is just an off-the-shelf pistol case. It can scan one of my implants here, and there, and inside this product. I can access all kinds of things with my implants from home, office, log into the computer, start the car, make payments, being able to access all kinds of secure websites with better security than any password could offer me. Everybody has their phone, wallet, and keys, and those are the 3 things you need for life in society. But that is a burden to manage, and I've gotten rid of 1/3 of that burden. So here we are at my favorite Thai place. I've ordered a coffee, and I'm going to do a tap to pay. Thank you. I'll put that here. Perfect. I mean, you saw how fast it was. Super convenient.
What began as DIY biohacking soon evolved into a business. Grafstra first launched a company called Dangerous Things, which sells implant kits and chips to individuals and piercers, and later, VivoKey Technologies, which focuses on secure, digital identity, and payment-capable implants.
So the very first chip that I got was this one, and this was very experimental. So a doctor, used a little scalpel and placed it. But as we started to make products out of this, we put them into pre-sterilized injectors. So it's just like getting an injection, really. But now that process can be done by our partners, which are mostly body piercers. They're very familiar with skin, aseptic procedures, needles, things like that. So it's a very quick and easy process that's actually safer than getting an ear piercing. There's a lot of misconceptions. A lot of people are kind of educated by Hollywood movies, which is fantastical nonsense. There's no power when it's not, very close to a reader. So it's not tracking you, it's not GPSing, it's not doing any of that nonsense. Being able to secure things like banking transactions, Bitcoin transactions, the really important things about your digital identity that are now merged with your biological identity, that's a very important thing. Normally you have something that's secure, but it's not convenient, or it's convenient, but it's not secure. Implants have a chance to break that paradigm so that you can do something that's secure while being convenient, or it's more secure because it is convenient to be secure. So this is an example of just a vent safe that looks like a vent, but it's actually safe. I've secured many things that I normally wouldn't bother with because it's too much of a pain to secure them and use them. But now with an implant, getting access to a secure thing is easy as tapping. A lot of people wonder, why would this be for me? Really, the answer is it's up to you. For many people, that could be access, secure access. For other people, it could be something like payments. I want to be able to leave my wallet at home, get into my house, my car, and make payments. That's enough.
To date, Emil has sold close to 300,000 implant chips across both companies, with customers selecting their implant kits on his website and opting for either self-install or pro-install from one of his partners.
When I first put this in 2005, people weren't really ready for this concept. And so there was a lot of reaction, a lot of negative, visceral reaction to it. But as the actual applications, began to mature and society adjusted to this idea that maybe it's not this horrible thing, maybe there are some use cases that are good for it, then, the reaction has become much more benign. Being able to talk about it in interviews like this is helping people kind of come around to understanding the truth about these types of applications. So yeah, people are getting used to the idea that this is coming.
Right. And he had it in 2005, 2003, 2000. They was pushing it in animals. They still do, but as he mentioned, and it's progradialism. And now it's 2025, 20 years later. And the Lord has it where YAHAWASHI has it where these individuals are not getting sick from these things yet because it will push a scare and prevent people to get it. But we don't understand the prophecy in Revelation 16 that is one of the results of getting this tiny technology, man. Sirach 27:1. Many have sinned for a small matter, and he that seeketh for abundance will turn his eyes away. And a lot of people on that's understands this concept of MOTB, Revelations 13, the mark of the beast. People that's outside but kind of know about, not in the know, but kind of aware of the know, and on the know I'm talking about is this tiny technology. These people are going to turn from that understanding because they're going to be faced with a dilemma, ultimatum. I think that's the right way. If not, forgive me. They're going to be faced with a choice to choose life or death. All right. And just because they don't take the tiny technology don't mean they're going to be saved by the Lord. But the point I'm making is that these individuals who are somewhat aware are going to be faced with, do I not take it and not feed my family, or do I take it to feed my family? Some people are going to have babies. Some people are going to have young children, infants, and so forth. As a nail sticketh fast between the joinings of the stones, so doth sin stick close to between buying and selling. Unless a man hold himself diligently in the fear of the Lord, his house shall soon be overthrown, as when one sifted with a sieve, the refuse remaineth. So the filth of a man in his talk. So, and when you read this in a GNT, it says something complete. It says many will turn their eyes and turn away. All right, turn a blind eye. All right, when these things come about, and that's exactly what is going to happen here pretty soon. Revelations 1:1. The revelation means to pull back the veil. The revealing of Yahawashi, which the Most High gave unto him, which is John, the Apostle John, on the island of Patmos, to show unto his servants, which was a salt mine, which he was abandoned to, all right, for the things that he believed in. And this is what Trump is doing, all right, in terms of, he's going to do this to the prophets. He got these Alcatraz alligator and all these different things, and Alcatraz, the actual Alcatraz, and these different detainment centers, and he's sending people to Australia and whatever other countries. I saw a bunch of articles on these things. You know, who you think that he's preparing that for? Okay, so it says, and this is happening in the Roman Empire, and it's going to happen again. Gave unto him to show unto his servants things which must shortly come to pass. Because Esau is not original. He has to study these different cultures to come up with his way of living. Okay, and he implements them where he needs them. We're the originals of everything. But unlike Trump, unlike us, Salakia. So, but they're not. So they have to combine everybody's culture to make up their own version. All right, so that they can continue to afford their living. Okay, to show unto his servants things which must shortly come to pass, and he sent and signified it by his angel unto his servant John, who bear record of the word of the Most High and the testimony of Yahawashi Mashiach, which is the spirit of prophecy, Revelations 19:10, and of all the things that he saw. So John saw these things being talked about in the book of Revelations from chapters 1 to chapters 22. This is Revelations 13 and 15. And he had power to give life unto the image of the beast, that the image of the beast should both speak, right? The Roman Empire, all right, its structure, its political, economical system, all right, was given power by the means of NATO and the EU, the military, NATO part, and EU being a political part. Okay, it gave power to its image in America by the way of democracy, politics, and, you know, the structure, the system, all right, the Senate houses, okay, the way you vote, everything you see in America is how it's giving power into the beast, the previous beast who had a deadly wound but did live, as it says in verse 14. That the image of the beast should both speak and cause that as many as would not worship the image of the beast should be killed. Right, reverence. And go to this word worship. Reverence. A sign of reverence. Whether it's a physical, falling upon the knees, or let's see, used of homage shown to men of beings of superior rank. See? Okay, worship. It said to demons, people can worship demons. Okay. So pay homage, right? You could worship your children, your woman, clothes, cars, etc. Things that you're focused on, the things that you give your most time to. And you go into this word killed, as we often go into. It goes into apo, right? Let me see.
Strong's G 615. Apartino. Apartino.
Right, apotino, but you go into the root word apo, which it comes from, of separation. So he said, that's what he was saying in the video. Okay, you're going to be separated. Separated from what? Where of a whole some part is taken. It says of separation of a part from the whole. What's the whole? Society. America, the 15-minute cities, the different the infrastructure. You're going to be separated from society. Physical of distance of place. And this is the digital prison. Of distance of time. Separation of distance of time. Apo, separated from society. Okay. Lord willing, us edifying, like to give all honor, glory, and praise and worship to Yahawah, BAHASHAM, YAHAWASHI, BAHASHAM, HAQADASH. Divine honor to our apostle, the bishop, the great millstone. Peace, I taste to the hope for elect. Until next time, Shalom.